All right, hello everybody. It's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Cheers. I am absolutely excited today. I am chatting with the one and only Mr. John Adams, guitarist of Houston-based melodic hard rock and metal band Love and War. Killer stuff. John, thank you so much for joining me. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great, Victor. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. Very excited to have you on the show. I don't even know where to start exactly, but I know you're a busy band. You guys are always working. You're always doing shows. I know you had a show fairly recently where you played with one of my old time favorite. I hate using the term, but hair metal band Slaughter. Love that band, and I know you guys played with them not too long ago.
Yep. Yeah, it was like about a month and a half ago, I believe, something like that. And it was Slaughter and Stephen Piercy from
Oh
Rat.
yeah, cool.
Yeah. And we did a show just about a month or so before that, a couple months back with Zebra as well. And
Oh wow,
we done several shows for them over the years. Randy Jackson's a good friend, and
nice.
they're from not too far from us in New Orleans. So
Oh yeah. Oh man, Zebra, what a great band. I'm a huge
yep.
fan of Zebra. I love that band. Well, very cool. Would you guys have anything lined up right now? Anything going on?
Well, we just recently got an offer to play, and I'm still waiting to hear back from the club owner. It was going to be with let's see, who was it? It's Winger. There's three bands. Oh golly, Winger, and I can't remember who the other band is right now. But this just came up, and we don't. He wanted to know if we wanted to do the show. I'm waiting to hear back from the club owner. This just happened, so I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But this, opportunities arise here and there, and we try to take whatever we can. We all of us are in other bands as well, and other projects are happening. So if it fits everybody's schedule, then we'll do it. And but we're all of us keep busy. If it's not Love and War, there's some tribute bands out there. I've got a UFO tribute band called Lights Out. I've been in for 22 years now.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh yeah, I'm a Michael Schenker freak, dude. And our bass player's in a Foreigner tribute. He's in a Latino metal band called Santa Oscuridad, which has Larry Brannigan from Hellstar in it. And so I mean, we all have our own little projects and stuff, so we keep busy.
Nice. It's funny you mentioned Shankar, because I actually was going to ask you. I did not know that you were in a UFO cover band.
Oh man, yeah.
But
Yeah.
In listening to your playing, I was curious. I was like, God, there's some Shankar vibe there in
There is. Yeah, it comes out. It does. The whole reason I picked up a guitar was as a young boy in 1975. I have two older brothers, and my middle brother played the Fawcett record. And I was just enthralled, like, oh wow, this guy. I don't know what it was. I've been listening to music all my life, and when I heard Michael Schenker play, I just thought, wow, I want to play guitar. And one of my friends had older brothers, and they were all guitar players. So I'd go over to his house. I'd say, hey, let me learn how to play, and it was an acoustic guitar. So as a few more years went by and everything, and I turned 12, I got my first guitar.
Cool.
But it was all about Schenker, and by then. A couple years later, after I think I was 14 or 15 when Strangers in the Night came out.
Okay.
And of course that that was a quintessential live record, because back I was in high school in the late 70s rather, and that late 70s era had the best live records ever. We could go on and on about all the great Strangers in the Night, Live and Dangerous, Gonzo, Double Live Gonzo, Peter Frampton, Deep Purple. I mean, all of the great live records were released back then, and it was a great time to be alive and be a fledgling young guitar player, and it was a great time. And then, of course, by the time I got out of high school in the early '80s, everything just erupted. 1983, Quiet Riot, Metal Health went #1, and then all of a sudden, boom, metal was mainstream. And then all the bands started exploding, and it was like an incredible time.
Nice. And speaking of that time, so I know, so Love and War formed in 2000, if I have my dates correct. However, you and Jeff, the vocalist, Jeff Vandenberg, you guys have been working together since the early 80s, since like 82.
1982. Yes, we were kind of fresh out of high school for a year or two, and Jeff had come to Houston. He worked for a company where they used to do high-rise caulking and stuff on new skyscrapers. So they were working on a new building in downtown Houston. I was at a club called Cardi's here in Houston, and I was with my drummer at the time, and Jeff was there, and I was in the bathroom taking a whiz, and my drummer was probably fixing his hair in the mirror and talking about how we need a lead singer for our band, and we were called Works, WURX. And Jeff was taking a whiz and said, "Hey man, I'm a singer." So I was like, "Come on out." We had a beer, and he just so happened to have a demo tape of his band on set that he would keep on a little Walkman, when he was working and stuff. And he gave us a copy of it, and he'd been here for a week. He came to our rehearsal room. We worked on some cover tunes and everything, and then he wrote some lyrics to some guitar ideas that I had, and we actually wrote a couple of new songs. And when he went back to El Paso, he packed up his Pontiac Sunbird with all of his stuff, and he moved to Houston to join the band. So we've been playing. It's been 40 years. That's crazy. Time is just flying, man. It's just unbelievable.
Oh,
it just doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, it's mind blowing to think that. Yeah, like in fact, I heard on the radio today. I was driving. I ran down to get some coffee, and I was listening to the radio, and I can't remember what I was listening to exactly, but the guy in the DJ mentioned an album, and that today was the 25th anniversary of the album. Like, that's not possible. Like it just came out. Like 25 years. Like,
yeah, it really gets away from you. It really does, because we get so involved in our daily lives and all the things that we love to do in our families, and time slips away. It's very fleeting, if you will, and we have to stay on top of it, or it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
So we do the best we can and try to have fun and enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, and I would say, listening to your last album,
Edge of the World. Yeah.
Edge of the World came out in 2018, I believe. 2018.
No, 2020.
2020. Oh, okay. Sorry.
It was released February of 2020, man. And Victor, the real sad thing about that was we released it in February of 2020. March, the next month, is when COVID hit.
Yeah, bad time.
Man, I mean, Ben, had gotten us our publicist. He had gotten us some really good connections in Europe. So he'd been sending our music out. There were radio stations that were picking it up in that month prior, since we released it. And man, we were getting hits. We were selling records in Italy and France and the Netherlands. And there's a guy that I met in Japan. He goes, "Send me 25 copies in Osaka." And all of this was hitting really hard. We were getting a lot of attention. Boom, COVID came and just shut everything down. Yeah, and everything disappeared. So that's why we just recently, this past year, we did a compilation thing. Our first two, we only have 2 records. One was in 2010, and then we just did this last one. And we can talk about that gap later, but we did a dual CD release with Animated Insanity Records out of New York. Okay. And in compilation with it's called No Dust Records in the Netherlands. And he's a Dutch guy that does distribution, and he also has the big record store there. Cool. So we did the re-release with them. They put it out, so now actually you can get it anywhere. It's worldwide. So we're real stoked about it.
Nice. I'm gonna have to jump on that, because I have both your albums, but I have the original releases, so I need to get.
Oh yeah, you can get the compilation if you just go to Animated Insanity Records.
Okay.
And then just go to their website, do the search for Love and War, and you'll find it.
Nice. I will definitely do that. Yeah. I've purchased a few things from that record company in the past. Yeah. Great company. Yeah, they do.
They are. Yeah, they're pretty cool
stuff. Yeah, I have a great roster, including Love and War. So talk to me. So, as you mentioned, so you and Jeff got together way back in 82. So let's leap forward to 2000-ish, 1999, 2000. So tell me about how the development of Love and War, how did the band come together?
Well, just to backpedal a little bit, in 1989, the band that he joined in 1982, we had a good run. We toured all over the United States. We were road dogs. We were on the road for 3 years. We played all over the United States. We were constantly on the road, played in LA on the Sunset Strip. We did all that whole thing. And, you know, we were all inclusive as far as equipment. We had our own PA, our own lights, our own huge box truck, you know, so we traveled everywhere, man. We broke up in '89 to form another band that I wanted to start with Jeff, because we were trying to get rid of our drummer at the time, and who's basically just was controlling everything. His mom had got us everything. But long story short, we formed a band called Lestat, about the vampire Lestat. So we had Lestat together in the early 90s, all the way to about 96. There was a bit of a lull there till 2020, and we decided to have a reunion with Lestat. So we got those members back that we had in that last bit of time that we were together. Everything went great. We were having fun. It was okay. Well, let's keep the band going, but let's not call it Lestat. You know, let's go ahead and move forward, write new music, new identity. So we were kicking around names, and Love and War came up. We're like, cool. Okay, we liked it. So that's how Love and War started again, and that was in 2000. And actually, me and Jeff are the only original members of that first incarnation. Okay. Yeah, our current drummer, Donnie Bragg, came in 4 years later. Ray came in 2010, and that was pretty much right when we did Up the Ante. Yeah, and that was pretty much how same guys we have now started. So
nice, very cool. And I know you you mentioned the compilation, but you also re-released Up the Ante with bonus tracks.
We did a live version of Delivering the Goods by Priest. We threw that on there.
So good. That is so good.
Yeah, man, we had fun doing that. And so yeah, we're actually right now, I'm in the process of writing our new record.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I got a lot of really cool ideas, and we're hoping before the end of this year, hopefully by the end of the summer, to be back in the studio and record our next record. I want to get it done. I don't want to wait. It's already been 2 years since we did Edge of the World, and I don't want to put it off any longer. I've been writing hard. I write all the music, and a lot of times at least 50% of the lyrics. So I've been real busy, and I'm pretty confident we'll be able to make that happen. So
very cool. Very cool. Is it in the I would imagine to some degree, maybe, progressing forward, but, kind of in the same vein as Edge of the World, or?
Same vein as Edge of the World.
Cool.
Yeah, because if you heard the first one, Up the Ante, it's a good record, but Edge of the World is a far more better album as far as I'm concerned. All of us are concerned. I think the songwriting's better. It's heavier, more melodic. You can see that there was a good progression, if you will, of our songwriting over the years, and the stuff I'm writing now is easily in that vein. It's heavy, and
nice.
If I could write a new Judas Priest Firepower record, I would do it. Nice. I heard Firepower and I was like, I can't believe these motherfuckers just wrote that record. That is such an amazing record. I said, I want to do that record,
Yeah.
But anyway, just kidding around. But looking forward to their new record. Hopefully they'll put it out within the next year. I heard that they've been recording. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so we had an interview from them, and hopefully they'll have a new one out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's cool though. That's great to hear. Yeah, and as you mentioned, I thought your cover of Delivering the Goods was excellent. And there's been lots of bands that have covered Judas Priest over the years, but and I'm a massive Judas Priest fan, huge Judas Priest fan, and I'm a little judgy, and I thought your version was killer. It was one of those, it kind of stopped me in my tracks, like, because I saw it on there and I'm like, all right, let's see what these guys can do. And I'm like, oh, hello, here we go. Right on.
I tried on the solo there. I tried to do something a little bit different. I didn't want to reproduce Glenn's solo, I wanted to try to do something a little bit different. So, but it came out really well. It did. Yeah. I was surprised. And the beauty of all of this, the whole way Edge of the World came out, and everything all lies in the hands of Greg Gill. And Greg is our new guitar player. We have 2 guitar players now. Greg is the owner of Endeavor Studios.
Oh,
and
okay.
he's the engineer, and he co-produced Edge of the World with us, and we've been long time friends. And his studio is in Missouri, where he lives. So when we recorded Edge of the World, we were commuting back and forth to Missouri at Endeavor Studios.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, Greg has joined the band. He's just a genius in the recording studio, and he really is great with production and everything. As you can really tell, if you listen to Edge of the World, he did up the ante too. That was done in Houston in 2010 when he used to live in Houston.
Okay.
And he was co-owners with Bobby Blotzer of Rat in a studio here called Diamond Recording Studios.
Oh,
So
wow.
Blotzer was bringing all kinds of people in. And of course, being local and everything here, we went in and did our record. And now, I mean, he's just so much more savvy than he was, after 10 years later. And he really did such a great job. So really looking forward to getting back in the studio with Greg.
Cool. Yeah, I would say yeah, I mean, what you said there, that's one thing I was going to say is Edge of the World has a really big, really rich sound.
It really does. And we took our time on that record. It took us a little over 2 years to record that record.
Oh, wow.
You think we were fucking, Hysteria, fucking Def Leppard. But now they were constantly in the studio. Now for us, I mean, 6 weeks would go by, we couldn't do anything. Greg at the time was a teacher, and he worked in a school. So, I mean, literally, if you put all the recording days in numerical order, it was probably about 3 or 4 months worth of recording, which is still a lot.
Yeah.
But because it was spaced out and all our schedules were different, and it was an 11-hour drive or, an hour and a half plane flight, whatever, we took our time basically. And we took our time, all our mic placements, all the production, everything. We were not in any hurry to do anything. And that's what we want to do with the next record too, is make a slick record like Edge of the World.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, that's such a great record. And especially I think the title track, man, that one really blew me away.
Yeah, I had that riff, man, and I've been fooling around with it, and then the other parts came together, and then I had wrote the chorus. So I gave it to Jeff, I get on my 8-track, and I burned him with something on a disc, and he didn't figure out what to do with it. He couldn't figure out the verses or what to do with it. And I was kind of stumped myself, and months went by. We were working on other stuff. And then he said he was taking a hot bath one day, from working, and he was just kind of sitting back, and he always did that, gets in the bath and then starts singing, he'll put headphones on or whatever, or play his music off his phone, and he was playing it over and over again, and it came to him, and he came to practice. I said, man, I got the song, play the riff. And then of course it turned out to be a monster. So
yeah, very cool. So is that kind of it sounds like that's often the process you come up with, you'll come up with riffs and come up with kind of the basic structure of the song.
That's pretty much our formula. I write all the music, and I can hear everything, so I got all the changes, I got everything done. I write the solo. It's one or two things. A lot of times some lyrics will come to me, and I'll write the lyrics down. Other times I'll just hear a chorus, and I'll write the chorus, and I'll say, Jeff, I got the chorus, write something in this kind of theme. And otherwise I'll just I'm stumped, Jeff, here, you write it, So that's pretty what you do. But more times it's always me and Jeff bouncing off each other, trying to complete some lyrics or whatever. So that's pretty much our formula.
Nice. Yeah, very organic. I like that. Very collaborative, and that's cool. That's really cool.
And then again, even though I write all the music, when we get in and we start working out the music, if our drummer or bass player says, hey, let's try this or let's try that, we do. It's not written in stone. It's just my idea to present to them, and then it becomes what it is.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. So do you have a target date as far as, I mean, maybe not, I mean, you mentioned earlier, your plan is to start recording. Do you have kind of a target date, or we got to, kind of when you want to jump in?
Well, yeah, for me, my target date would probably be after summer. So I'm, if by the time the holidays roll around, I want to be in the middle of recording. Okay. So, fingers crossed, all of us can make that happen.
Nice. So that, do you have any, again, this is way too early, I'm sure, to ask this question, as far as that album, as far as touring, do you think maybe with the way the world is now, do you think, that European tour could actually happen
Well, I tell you what, man, that is our bucket list. All of us, we all feel the same. We want to get over there really bad. And with the record being released over there, we're hoping we've put some feelers out on a couple of the big festivals over there trying to get into it.
Cool.
We were going to try to do that this year, but I mean, with just getting over COVID, we missed our shot because they do everything a year ahead of time. So we missed the boat this year because they already booked everything. So our goal here in 2023 is try to make something happen where we can go to Europe next year. So we're putting our feelers out, trying to get on it because there's so many festivals that happen over there. And if we can get in there the next year, we're working on it this year. So fingers crossed, we're definitely, cool. If a promoter or anybody over there listens to our music and they're saying, man, yeah, you'll fit perfect in here. We want you, we'll go. So we'll see what happens.
Very cool. Do you have any, I mean, you mentioned the Wingers show as a possibility coming up here in the not too distant future. Do you have any plans at this point for this coming summer? And I know it's probably a little difficult with, with Greg living in Missouri in terms of doing shows, but do you have anything kind of lined up for the summer months?
Well, that thing, and I'm looking at this real quick because I was trying to remember who the heck. It was going to be Tom Kiefer, John Corabi, and Winger.
Oh, wow.
But it looks like it was originally Kiefer and Corabi, and then they added Winger. And I'm thinking because they added Winger, maybe they don't need us now. I'm looking at the guy's message, but hopefully, that a lot of times they like to throw in an open, a local guys to get our fan base out there. So we'll see what happens. But besides that, we do have, we're doing a benefit for the guy does drum and guitar techs for Love and War. He came up with cancer, and we're doing a benefit for him in next month in April.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a bunch of bands are involved in that. And then we're going to be playing in Missouri in June. There's what's called the Barbecue Fest.
Oh, I like that.
yeah, absolutely. And it's in a little town called Ironton, and it's southeast Missouri, and that's where Greg lives. So with Greg's connection with the city officials and everything that he's involved in, they do this once a year. It's a big deal, and it gets people from all over the area. Thousands of people show up, and they have live bands for two nights, a Friday and a Saturday. So they want us to play on the Saturday. They want us to headline. So we're like, hell yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So that's supposed to happen in June, and so far that's pretty much all we have. But things continually pop up. Like we got an opportunity to do show with Spread Eagle. I don't know if you've heard of Spread Eagle.
Name's familiar. I don't know if I know.
The bass player, and his name escapes me right now, Rob DeLuca, is the bass player for UFO.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. With UFO not doing anything right now, Rob has gone back with Spread Eagle, who they released a record in 1989, and it's a great record.
Cool.
And then, of course, we know what happened after that. Everything went grunge, but they're killer. So we couldn't do that show. That was going to be next month. We had to pass out of that one, but that's all that's really popped up. But like, again, stuff like that, it happens all the time. So right now, nothing else written in stone, but there'll be stuff coming up.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. I've watched some over the years. I've watched some YouTube videos of you guys, usually it's people with phones, so it's not the best sound quality, but
oh yeah. I hate that too. I always tell everybody, man, don't post any of that unless we can look at it. Cause you never really know how it's going to turn out, who's going to be flubbing something or what happens, or the sound quality is really bad. And, people who have never seen us before, they'll see that and they'll get that first impression of us. And I'm like, that's not how you want people to see you.
Yeah. But even that being said, even with the muffled phone, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, you guys tear it up on stage. And that's
yeah.
And it seems like you play off of each other really well, and you seem to really enjoy the live atmosphere, which is
absolutely
fun to watch. It's always fun to, it always sucks when I think we've all been there where you've seen a band and somebody basically turns their back to the audience and just plays. And then a band that actually is engaging, like your band, like Love and War, it's just a joy to see, and that's what the live experience should be, in my opinion. You want a performance, you want to see, you want energy, and I would imagine the same for the band.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, if you really love what you do, it's going to come across, and it's going to show that you're having a good time, and you're not like, let's just get this thing over with.
Yeah.
And like last time I saw Doc. I said last time I saw Doc and And of course, it was no original members but Don Dokken. That guy just looked like he woke up off of a couch
Oh God.
in their camper, and he came out, no enthusiasm or nothing. And, he sings like Elvis now. He sings in a really low register, and it just is like he doesn't even want to be there, And I guess if that's your only form of income, I get it, But
Yeah.
come on, us fans, who have been supporting you for all of these years, we'd like to see a little bit more emotion. Come on.
Yeah. Like at least engage to some degree.
Yeah, something. Smile every once in a while. Look, at least act like you're having fun.
Right. Yeah. But I can tell like Love and War genuinely is having fun on stage. It looks like you guys are kind of having your own little party up there. It's great.
Absolutely.
It's great to watch.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Oh yeah.
So you mentioned we talked about Michael Schenker, but I was really curious about like who are or were the big influences for you as a guitar player.
Well, I probably would have to say Michael Schenker first, and then pretty much from there it went to guys like Jimmy Page and Joe Perry. I was a huge those early Aerosmith records were just huge for me. I mean, I'd put those you'd put those records on that turntable, and they were like gold, and you sit there and you study every single riff, and every single lick, and you play it over and over and over again. And we didn't have the luxury like we do now, where you can go on YouTube and people can show you sometimes on how to play things. You had to figure them out on your own. I mean, I love Joe Perry and Jimmy Page, of course. And then, of course, I was a huge Ted Nugent fan. I love Ted Nugent, that early stuff. And then, of course, you get to, guys like Uli John Roth, who I love that early Scorpion stuff with Uli. God, there's so many, I mean, just as the years progressed, then we got into the heavy, hair metal days. So, I love Jakey Lee back in the day. Randy Rhoads, man, wow, Randy was huge for me.
Yeah.
A lot of your usual suspects, when you're a young guitar player, and we knew all those rock gods were, George Lynch, come on, there's so many great guitar players, and you're just like, wow, and that was a cool thing about that early to mid 80s thing. It was like, as a young guy growing up in the late 70s, you had your Michael Schenker and Uli and all these great guitar players, but when you started getting into these speed demons and these arpeggio riffs, and these guys really took it up to the next level.
Right. Yeah.
Paul Gilbert, guys like that, all these GIT graduates, they took it to a next level, and then it was like, holy shit, I mean, what do you do here, and of course a lot of the guys that were like me prior, that were younger than me, were just, in high school at that time, were just tearing that shit up, and they would I had friends that went to GIT and were taught by Paul Gilbert when Paul Gilbert was teaching at GIT. Wow. Yeah. And, my friend, Joel Gregoire here, who's an amazing guitar player, give him props. And he was taught by Paul Gilbert because he went to GIT. Cool. So anyway, yeah, I mean, a lot of those usual suspects for a lot of guitar players. It was the same for me. So
nice. Was there? And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I would imagine that there would be, coming from Houston, there's, and you can hear it in some of your playings. There's the blues, like the heavy rock blues. So I was curious about, is the Texas, is there some of that influence for you as well?
I think I got a lot of that from those early Joe Perry records. I always thought he had a good touch with that, and of course Billy Gibbons, who I'm a huge fan of. Man, wow, and and I'm in another band here in Houston called Dead Man's Hand, and we do a lot of that music, type of bluesy rock. At times, kind of like outlaw kind of rock, like Blackberry Smoke, bands like that. Southern rock, very Southern rock. So I've always been a big fan of that. And, I guess it kind of spills through, if you will, on the Love and War records. So,
yeah, I mean, and it's subtle, but it feels like there's a little bit there. Like,
there is. Yeah. I'm glad you spotted that and pointed that out, because I try to hide it a little bit, but it's incorporated.
Yeah. Definitely not a bad thing. Yeah, because I mean, Love and War for lack of and I hate the genre game, but it's kind of I mean, you guys kind of have kind of a AOR kind of vibe to some degree, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, you just rock. I mean, that's the thing, is you rock. That's the important aspect for me, is you're just a kick-ass rock band, with metal elements as well, which is what I love about it. You know, because it's, you know, you can't exactly pinpoint like, oh, this band is this.
Yeah, you know, it's really weird too, because yeah, you'll hear one song and then you'll hear another one, and I think that type of reflection goes back to a lot from me, because writing the music and stuff is, you know, growing up in the late 70s and early 80s, I was really influenced to 70s rock, you know.
Mm.
So you can really hear, I think you can hear it in the music, but then every once in a while we'll play something a lot heavier, like maybe the Riff and Edge of the World,
Yeah.
which is a little bit more modern rocky, if you will, you know, more like modern rock. So, you know, there's kind of like a mixture of that stuff in there. You know, it's kind of hard to pinpoint, because you'll hear a song that's kind of, well, that's kind of cool, modern rock, modern metal, whatever.
Yeah.
But then you'll hear something, especially like on the first record, that's super bluesy, you know, like Save Me From Myself, you know, which has super, and I do some slide guitar. And so, yeah, it's all kind of a plethora, if you will, of a lot of different types of styles. So.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it's going across, because I never had anybody be really critical about it. I mean, we got a review from a female rock critic in Germany, and she kind of let us have it, you know. But she did, you know, like how we really couldn't pinpoint us, and we were all over the place. But that's fine. But you know what? Out of all of the reviews that we've ever had, she was the only one. I think that's doing pretty good, you know. So
yeah.
But yeah, we are at times a little bit all over the place, but it's still hard melodic rock. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're all over the place. I just think you have.
She did.
Yeah, I would not, definitely not say that. I don't think so at all.
I don't think so at all either. I was really shocked that she said.
Yeah,
that.
you seem very. I think both albums seem very focused. You know, and I mean, there's some different stuff going on, which is good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I like that. I don't. But you know, teach their own. Whatever.
Absolutely.
He's talking about. But that's okay. So John, this has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I do have one last question for you.
Okay.
So as you know, my page is Brews and Tunes. I pair craft beer with metal and hard rock and everything else. So it's you know, Friday night, Saturday night, you know, John Adams is sitting at home. You crack open a beer, you put on you're spinning a record. What is your beer and what is your record?
I love German beer, dude. I'm telling you, if I can get my hands on a Weissen, a heavy Weissen or something, I'm all over it.
Nice.
And I like that. If I want like a lighter type of beer, I drink Yingling, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
Yingling beer is okay. It's a little bit toned down, but I like a little bit of those you know, European beers. I don't know what it is, man, but you know, me and Jeff will get like we'll do like what's called a black and tan. We'll get like a Guinness beer.
Oh yeah.
And we'll take like a Beck's beer or sometimes Mexican beer, and we'll do, you know, the black and tan thing where you get the Guinness with the other beer. It's a nice little mix. You can just kind of drink it and get you a nice warm buzz, you know. But yeah, I'm definitely, I would say, more of a European beer guy.
Cool. Right on. Right on. I love German beers. Absolutely love German beers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Right on. And then what album are you spinning?
To
compare with that with your German beer.
I would probably be spinning Strangers in the Night or Live and Dangerous by Thin Lizzy. Who knows? Maybe an old TNT record, you know, Tell No Tales or something. You know, I mean, there's so many different ones, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, cheers, my friend.
Cheers to you, brother. Absolutely. Yeah.
This has been an absolute pleasure and an honor chatting with you, John. Thank you so very much.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. I'll send you some messages and stuff, and I'll give you an update on what's going on with the new record, and we'll do a follow-up. I'll try to get a couple of the guys in, and we'll chat again.
That would be fantastic.
Sounds good,
so
brother.
much. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace out, brother. Thanks.
Take care.